Hi everyone, welcome back to Eden. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing great. So we have been discussing about the degrees of adjectives, that is in simple, the rules for the degrees of adjectives. Today also we'll be discussing with the same thing, like it's a continuation of the previous video. But before we proceed, please do like, share and subscribe. And so coming to our topic, we have been discussing about the rules, how to use comparison. So there are words like less and fewer. When we talk about comparison, we'll be using, in some cases we'll be using less, in some cases we'll be using fewer. But all the time we'll be confused, like way to use less and way to use few or fewer, right? So under that conditions, if you look at less is used in, actually less itself is something which will denote small, something which is small in quantity. So that is taken as a very small degree, okay, lower degree. And the other hand, fewer is somewhere where we will try to express the things in number, where we can tell that or count it in number, okay. So less is used for lower degree and where we cannot count, like certain things like money. I'm not talking about that like counting 100, 200 like that. In simple, we won't be able to count it like one money, two money and all. It is uncountable, right? Similarly, air, okay, all the time, like time, when we want to count time. So all these things which are not countable will be expressed with the help of less, okay. So you'll be comparing with the help of less. But coming to fewer, when we can express it in number, using numbers, we can say, or we can in simple say, so it is used for countable nouns like persons or things. Countable nouns here indicate that which we can count in number, so that too in plural, okay. So we can say, we can use it for like students, dogs, okay, or like for things around houses. All these things, when we are trying to express them, we'll be using fewer. So we'll see with a small example how to. So if you see at this particular, on these examples, if you see, so he devotes less time to his studies. So here when we are trying to explain this, so this less is the adjective being used for time, okay. So he devotes less time to his studies. So here time which is uncountable, as we have seen, we can't say he devotes fewer time, okay. We can't say he devotes fewer time. It can be said like he devotes less time to studies because it is uncountable when it comes to time. Similarly here, people want to spend less time in traffic. So here also if you see time, here also if you see time, or people wants to spend less money, okay. People don't want to waste money, right? So people wants to spend less money, like that. So when it comes to that, it will be less will be used. Now if you look at this example, there are no fewer than, here the number is given. There are no fewer than 50 students or 50 boys in the class. So when we are counting the number of boys, it is 50. So not less than 50 means it is, there are as much as 50 boys and as many as 50 boys in the class. That means like we are saying the number of boys is not lesser than 50. Okay, no fewer than 50. That means we are trying to say that the number is like almost nearing to 50, we can say. So there we will be using 50. We won't be using less. We won't say there are no less than 50 boys in our class. If someone is saying that there are no less than 50 boys, that is wrong. We should not use less with countable nouns. Less is not used along with countable. So generally this will come to help when you are going for competitive exams and when we are using for correction, okay, for correcting where to use less and where to use fewer. Similarly, no fewer than 100 audiences. So you can see that where there is a number, we will be using fewer. And coming to this less, there are like less and lesser, two terms. Less and lesser. This less which is there, less can be used as a noun or as an adverb or as an adjective. Depending upon the sentence and depending upon the usage, the less which we are using, it can be used as noun, adverb or adjective. But coming to lesser, it can only be used as an adjective. Okay, it can be, see, since the board size is less, I am just erasing it and writing it. Okay, so if you look at this particular sentences, you can see my income is less than yours. So here what we are doing, my and your, like we are comparing two, between two. So it is comparison between two. So my income is less than yours. So here this less is a comparison. You can even see than. So this is being used as an adjective here because it is going as a comparison. Come to this. Chemistry is less difficult than biology. Here also it is comparison. Here also it is comparison. But what is being compared? Chemistry and biology is being compared. And with what word? What is the exact adjective here? The adjective is difficult. Adjective is difficult. Chemistry is difficult than biology. That is the adjective. Difficult is the adjective. And it is being more influenced or using the word less. It is being more defined. So less difficult. Okay, chemistry is less difficult than biology. That indicates chemistry is easy when compared to biology. So this less is acting here as an adverb. Okay, the less here is acting as an adverb. It is not the adjective. Here it is being used as an adjective. Here it is being used as an adverb. If you see, if we are not using this word, chemistry is difficult than biology, the meaning itself is completely changed. It is stating that chemistry is more difficult. I mean, it is difficult than biology. Chemistry is tough. But when we are saying chemistry is less difficult than biology, that means here it is a negation. It is acting as an adjective. So it is saying that chemistry is easy when compared to biology, right? So the third one is choose the lesser evil of the two. So here when we are using lesser, it is actually defining or modifying the noun. So this is acting as an adjective. It cannot be used as an adverb. So lesser is used only as an adjective, but less can be used as an adjective, adverb or even a noun. Next, this regarding usage of less and fewer and lesser like is over. So I have told you about some Latin words wherein you won't be using than. You won't be using than, but you will be using to in comparison. Okay, I'll list out few words wherein you will be using, or I'll just write down all the few words wherein you will be using to along with it. Like he is senior to me. We will say he is senior to me. You should not say senior than me. Okay, if anybody is using than, then it is wrong. So this is the word which I am talking about. So when words like this are used, you have to use to along with it, not than. Senior, junior, prefer. Okay, so I'll just list out the words for you. So the words like senior, junior, superior, inferior, prior, posterior, anterior, prefer. All these are words. These are some Latin words which we will be using in sentences, and we should not use than along with these words in comparison, but rather we'll be using to along with them. Like I have given an example saying he is senior to me, or I prefer coffee to tea. Okay, so prefer, when we are using prefer, to, not I prefer coffee than tea. It is not correct. I prefer coffee to tea. Okay, so also along with these words, senior, most senior, you should not use. Much or more is not used along with this particular words. Okay, much or more is not used along with these words. And also I have already told you about double degree of comparison. You should not use much or most along with already superlative degreed words. Like you can't use more brightest. Okay, more brightest, more, cleverest, all these things some people will be using. So you should not use much or most even with already superlative or already comparative degrees, right? Then now we will be discussing about like one more topic regarding like when to use some and any in this comparison. I'll just list them out and then we'll come back. So coming back to some. So some is used with countable or like uncountable nouns, or at the same time when we try to ask question with respect. So there also will be using the word some. And also some can't be used in negative form of sentence. In negative sentence wherein don't, can't and all are used, you won't be using. But in the same, at the same time, if the sentence is negative, okay, it is negative, it is having negative and sentence is negative. Okay, if the sentence is negative, so it can't be used in negative sentences, but it can be used in question forms of negative sentences. That means if we are using negative sentences to ask a question, then we can use. See, let us see. So for this, there is some water in the bottle. That is, we are trying to tell about water which is uncountable in nature. So there is some water in the bottle. Okay, so then we are using some. Similarly, for using questions of respect, will you, okay, will you have some milk, or would you like to have some milk? So some milk, that is again uncountable and it is a question asked with respect. And the last one is, I told you they can't be used in negative sentences, but they can be used as a question form in negative sentence. Can't you spare some time for me? Can't you do that even for me? Can't you give me some time? That means, can you give me some time? So it is a negative form of sentence where again you are using some along with uncountable noun, that is time. So can't you spare some time for me? So this is the usage of some. Coming to any is used for negative sentences. So coming to any is used in negative sentences. Like we know negative sentences are used to convey a negative message. That means don't, no, can't. All these things are like negative words with which we make sentences. So I haven't got any money. Again it is uncountable. I haven't got any money. So it is used in a negative sentence. And at the same time it is used in interrogative sentences. Means questioning forms. Sentences wherein questions are used. Okay, interrogation means a questioning. So interrogative sentences means like, are there any boys in your class? Are there any boys in your class? So you are trying to ask a question. So are there any boys, or are there any students left? Okay, are there anyone left? Okay, are there anyone left to come? Okay, so when we are using any, we will be using with uncountable again and in negative form as well as in question form. And after using words like, after the words like hardly, barely, scarcely, okay, all these words wherein we will be badly, okay, you will be using this word any. Like, I have hardly any money. That means I don't have money at all. I have hardly any money. That means I don't have money. So when we are trying to tell about I don't have money, I have hardly any money, means there is no money left with me, right? So this is the usage of any. So some is used wherein with respect you will be asking a question, and also in front of uncountable nouns, okay, you will be using some, right? So that is about today's class. So with this, like, all the rules and regulations related to adjectives is over. Thank you.